Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the Parliament saw another day of disruption and hangama, with the opposition MPs creating ruckus and resorting to sloganeering in the upper house as the Prime Minister spoke. While yesterday, they repeatedly raised chants during the Prime Minister Modi's address in Lok Sabha. Today, they not just raised slogans, but also decided to stage a walkout as Prime Minister addressed the House, that is the Rajya Sabha. The chairman of the Rajya Sabha slammed opposition's conduct, saying that their actions set a dangerous precedent. After the opposition MPs left, the Prime Minister attacked them, saying they can't face the truth and are therefore running away from the field.
कोई मुझे बताएं कि संविधान की मर्यादाओं को तार-तार करके प्रोटोकॉल में एक परिवार को प्राथमिकता कैसे दी जाती थी, कौन सा संविधान था? और आज संविधान की बातें करते हैं, संविधान लहराते हैं, जय संविधान कहते हैं। अरे आप लोग तो इंडिया इज इंदिरा, इंदिरा इज इंडिया के नारे लगा करके जिए हो। सत्य सुनने की ताकत भी नहीं होती। इनका सत्य से मुकाबला करना, इसके लिए जिनके हौसले नहीं है, उन्होंने उठाए हुए सवालों के जवाब भी सुनने की हिम्मत नहीं है। नारेबाजी, हो हल्ला और मैदान छोड़ के भाग जाना, यही उनके नसीब में लिखा हुआ है। हम सभी को राजनीति से ऊपर उठ करके वहां की स्थिति को सामान्य बनाने में सहयोग करना चाहिए, ये हम सबका कर्तव्य है। और कांग्रेस के लोग ये न भूले कि मणिपुर में इन्हीं कारणों से 10 बार राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाना पड़ा है। इतने छोटे से राज्य में 10 बार प्रेसिडेंशियल रूल लगाना पड़ा है, राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाना पड़ा है। कुछ तो मुसीबतें होगी और ये हमारे कार्यक्रम में नहीं हुआ है। कांग्रेस पार्टी से मैं आप वालों से कहता हूं, आपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके आपके घोटालों के इतने सारे सबूत देश के सामने रखे थे। कांग्रेस ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की थी, इन्हीं लोगों के खिलाफ की थी। अब ये बताएं कि ये जो उन्होंने सबूत प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके सारी फाइलें बताई थी, क्या वो सबूत सच्चे थे या झूठे थे? दोनों एक दूसरे को खोल करके रख देंगे। ये ऐसे लोग हैं जिनका डबल स्टैंडर्ड है, दोहरा रवैया है। और केरला में उनके शहजादे, उन्हीं के केरल के एक मुख्यमंत्री जो उनके गठबंधन के साथी है, उनको जेल भेजने की अपील करते हैं।
But is there a particular template of disruption? And more importantly, did the disruption in Parliament come at someone's instructions? We will let you see, the viewers, and decide. But there are 4 videos that we'll show you from yesterday's Lok Sabha proceedings. In the first video, Rahul is seen saying, "Come on, come on." He gestures to opposition MPs to get up from their seats while the Prime Minister was speaking. Then we see Rahul getting up from his seat and pointing towards the well of the House. In the third video, he's seen giving instructions to the MPs. In the fourth video, we see opposition MPs storming the well of the House. The question is, was the disruption orchestrated at the instructions of Rahul? Well, we leave it for you to decide, but the repeated disruption has sparked a war of words. Take a look.
और उनकी आदत है कि झूठ बोलना, लोगों को भ्रमित करना और जो सत्य के जो विरोध में बात करना, ये उनकी आदत है। देखो, संविधान तो आप नहीं बनाए, संविधान के आप विरोधी थे। इसीलिए मैं वो क्लैरिफाई करना चाहता हूं कि कौन संविधान के फॉर थे, कौन संविधान के खिलाफ थे।
वो सत्ता में नहीं आया इसलिए पार्लियामेंट चलने नहीं देंगे, ये कभी भी नहीं हो सकता है। कांग्रेस पार्टी को सोचना होगा कि देश का प्रधानमंत्री किसी दल का नहीं होता है, वो पूरा देश का नेतृत्व करता है।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us, we have with us Praveen Khandelwal, who's a member of Parliament of the BJP from the Lok Sabha. We have Sonal Mansingh, member of Parliament from the Rajya Sabha. With us also is Deepak Reddy, national spokesperson of the TDP. Joining us on the show at the moment, we have Vivek Sailas, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Dr. Akashdeep Puni, political analyst, is joining us. Also with us is Lokesh Jindal. Let me start, Lokesh Jindal, with you first and foremost. Now, these videos that you would have seen perhaps through the day and as you've shown right now at the top of this bulletin, show Rahul Gandhi telling members of parliament, go into the well, disrupt, etc. We've seen slogans that were chanted right from the word go when it came to the Prime Minister's speech. Now, the question that many are asking is that while opposition and Mr. Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi has written an editorial in which she has talked about consensus building, dialogue, etc., when all that is stated as the purpose of parliament, debate and discussion, accountability even, why then engage in this kind of blanket disruption?
Well, Madhav, if you look at the content of the Prime Minister's speech, now the motion of thanks and the subsequent address of the Prime Minister has to deal with policy issues. But the entire content was based upon criticism of the Congress. In fact, I was surprised. Why is it that in the presidential address, there were mentions of the criticism of the Congress, which was never the content issue? The Prime Minister should have spoken about policy measures. He should have spoken about what happened in Manipur and what are the resolutions, what are the measures that have been taken by the government to resolve the crisis over there. He should have talked about the concern.
Did you hear today's speech?
Hear.
He did speak extensively on Manipur, and that's exactly the point I'm making. When yesterday, the reason for disruption given was that the Prime Minister did not speak on Manipur, was what opposition repeatedly said. When today he actually spoke on Manipur, there was nobody to listen to him.
No, because, Madhav, when the opposition asks questions to the ruling dispensation cannot take history's side and escape from answering those. They are answerable. They are in the government.
So he did answer them. That's the point,
The Prime Minister in yesterday's speech talked about Sholay, he talked about Parajivi, he talked about Balak Buddhi and all such forms of rhetorics, which were not supposed to be the content of the Prime Minister replying to the motion of thanks.
All right,
and today in Rajya Sabha.
Let me bring in Praveen Khandelwal because he's a member of Parliament of the Lok Sabha. Praveen Khandelwal, how do you respond to Lokesh Jindal, who says that the kind of language used by the Prime Minister, now this is the latest I'm hearing, that is not becoming of the Prime Minister and that's why we walked out. How would you respond, Mr. Khandelwal?
Actually, I'm sorry to respond that Mr. Lokesh is trying to subvert the core of the debate. The core of the debate lies the conduct that has been seen yesterday in the Parliament. I just draw your attention towards the day one when Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi was quite gracious in listening to the speech of LOP Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Unfortunately, what has happened yesterday in the Parliament was never happened before. LOP was seen in instigating the members to come to the well. And Congress is responsible for creating all kinds of disturbances and disruptions. Secondly, the entire speech of the members of Congress and other opposition parties were hinted towards Prime Minister and towards the other issues. They never spoke about a single word. What was the fundamental of the presidential address? So therefore, we have seen the most irresponsible opposition in the Parliament yesterday and day before, and I am sorry to say that the LOP has lowered down not only the dignity of the House but the office of LOP as well. So we cannot.
I want Vivek to come in on that. Vivek,
such kind of. Sir.
Yeah, one thing. No, I want Vivek to come in because
Rahul Gandhi started his address by saying that he is ready to contribute, he is ready to participate, he is ready to do whatever it requires to make the parliament moving. The opposition was ready to
Mr. Lokesh,
come along with the ruling government.
We have seen the contribution of Congress and the entire opposition yesterday in the Parliament. We have seen their contribution.
Opposition began only when the Prime Minister started criticizing the Congress.
Let me tell you
on baseless issues.
No, Lokesh, one second. Let me just come in. Mr. Khandelwal, allow me to come in. I just want to ask Lokesh a simple question. Lokesh, the very same question you are raising of the Prime Minister, did Rahul Gandhi adhere completely to the President's address? Did he not make several points which were totally apart from what the President's address was talking about? So the same yardstick we have applied to your own leader does not work, sir.
Well, Madhav, when Rahul Gandhi was talking about peace, peaceful coexistence, some form of a universal truth amongst all religion, that was misinterpreted that he was targeting the Hindus.
On day one, one second. Lokesh Jindal, I'm not even getting into the attack on Hindus part. But on day one, he showed religious images. That's something that's never been seen in Parliament. On day two, the LOP instigating people to get into the well, etc. The videos of that you've seen today. So it's very clear that it's nothing but there is some kind of a positioning or drama that Mr. Rahul Gandhi wants to do.
No. Madhav, when you talk about the parliamentary decorum, the rules and the conventions in the parliament, it is important to understand that the opposition cannot be snubbed down. You cannot have double standards with respect to opposition and with respect to the...
Where was opposition snubbed down?
No, it was snubbed down.
How?
When there are remarks that are expunged from the speeches, when there are remarks that were quite legitimate, that were having substance,
Mr. Khandelwal wants to respond to you on that.
Speeches.
Okay. Mr. Praveen Khandelwal, it's because of the double standards in the expunction of remarks.
Madhav,
because Rahul Gandhi says Treasury bench members' remarks which were controversial were not expunged. Your response, Mr. Khandelwal.
Madhav, I want to say that from day one, it was the planned strategy of Congress and opposition not to get House rolling in as per the dignity of the House. That is point number one. Point number two, we have seen several times Rahul Gandhi and other leaders of opposition doing all kind of nonsenses on the House, asking people to come down to well, making disruptions. Ultimately, the Prime Minister is the leader of the House and he is the leader of the country. You have to listen to Prime Minister. And if you have anything in your mind, you are always at liberty. The Speaker gave so many opportunities, but they never obeyed to the chair, to the Speaker chair. What kind of what kind of conduct they were observing in the Parliament? I'm sorry to say, the nation has witnessed the most unruly behavior of the opposition parties in the Parliament.
Okay, Vivek Sailas. I want to bring in Vivek Sailas, spokesperson of Samajwadi Party on that. Vivek Sailas, the nation has witnessed the most unruly behavior opposition ever in Parliament, says the BJP MP on our panel. Please respond to that.
You started with your with your speech saying that it's a war of words, but it's not a war of words. It's a war of work, Madhav. We have seen 23 days of NDA government. They are into power for 23 days. And what we have seen? We have seen a terrorist attack on the devotees in Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen a train accident. We have seen the NEET paper leak. We have seen the airport roofs falling. We have seen lot many things. We have seen how in Ayodhya the airport wall fell. This is corruption. We have also seen how the Atal Setu was cracked. This is what should have been discussed inside the Parliament. In spite of this, what has been discussed? A Sholay movie. Sholay ki mausi kahan se aa gayi? That is not the way to deal with the Parliament. That is not the way the Bharatiya Janata Party, the Honorable Prime Minister has to deal. Because the youth has given him vote, the farmers have given him vote, the Dalits have given him votes, the Adivasis have given him votes, but not a vote on that.
How can you stop him from quoting Sholay? I don't know.
No.
Everything else is a legitimate argument. Certainly, if there is a terror attack, NEET, Agniveer, there are many relevant issues.
These are the relevant issues that should have been discussed.
Vivek Sailas, that's exactly the point. You demand, as opposition, the Prime Minister's accountability and his answerability to Parliament.
But if you go...
But if he answers that and you disrupt it, then what is the logic of it?
Just 5 seconds. If you go in talking and you talk about Dr. Ambedkar, you talk about Nehru ji, you start talking about Sitaram Kesri, you are going to talk about Babu Jagjeevan Ram, who's going to listen to you? No one. You should take the Parliament seriously.
Are these not leaders who are historically important?
But this is not the need of the hour. The needs of the hour, the need of the country is not how the Congress has ruled the country in the past.
Okay.
It is how you're going to uplift your country, how your country is going to progress. That is the need of the hour.
Okay, I want Sonal Mansingh to come in on this. Sonal Mansingh, as a member of parliament, when you hear the response of a Samajwadi Party spokesperson saying that what the Prime Minister was talking about, his, of course, position, is that these were issues of the past. Parliament is to address issues of today, current issues, and that's not being done, is his contention. How would you respond to him, Sonal Mansingh?
I heard his speech in entirety today in Rajya Sabha, and he has taken up issues point by point, elaborating upon them quite a bit. Whether it was agriculture, whether it was women's issues, whether it was Manipur, whether it was NEET, Agniveer. I mean, he really went through the entire gamut in great detail. Now, if you refuse to listen and do galata and noise and walk out, then who is to blame? I just want to pick up 2 or 3 things about the Atal Setu. Actually, it is not the Atal Setu, it was the perpendicular service road which was cracked, not the Setu. According to my information, and I think that information is in public domain as well. Talking about the airport T1 Delhi collapse, roof collapse. Now that was built and inaugurated in Congress times. There are photos. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, Sonia Gandhi, Sheila Dikshit. So many things that he has now listed. I think they all go, mostly they hark back to those times. Another thing, as I say, that Prime Minister really took pains to answer these points, the issues. It was wonderful to listen to him. My God, I think it was almost 1 hour, 50 minutes. Why doesn't the opposition have the patience to sit and listen and then raise the issues and then raise the questions? That is my question.
Right.
Just, butt in and walk out doesn't do good to anyone.
But Sonal Mansingh, may I ask you a question?
Then they would have got the answers.
Ma'am, may I ask you a simple question? In the past, now this is what the Congress is saying, that this is been cited by the BJP as a legitimate means of protest, disruption, especially when the Congress was in power, and BJP members of parliament, leaders, even late Sushma Swaraj and late Arun Jaitley, have even justified this disruption. Sonal Mansingh.
There is no kind of, this is not an argument. I would say, yeah, I say this is no justification. This is not the argument. I would say rather that the opposition should have the patience to sit and listen and then raise questions and not just, altu-faltu baat karke, idhar jaake, udhar jaake, press mein bata ke. I'm very sorry to say that when I heard Khadge ji's statement in the press outside, he's quoting 1949 something from the RSS then. How does it apply to BJP? BJP was born in 1982 or what, much later. How do they connect? I don't understand that. So something from here, something from there, and just throw in the face. That doesn't work anymore. This kind of what shall I say, strategy. It's not even a strategy. It's just helter-skelter something. Create noise and walk out. Just lehrana, constitution.
It's the Bharatiya Janata
By
Party.
the way, the red.
That has said it is the responsibility of the ruling government that the parliament of the country functions smoothly. It is Arun Jaitley ji who has said it. It's Sushma Swaraj ji who has said it's the responsibility of the ruling. If you say they were wrong, I'll agree to that. I'll agree to that if you say they were wrong. It's the responsibility of the ruling government that the parliament functions smoothly and things are done well on time. That is the responsibility of any ruling government, be it the Congress government, be it the NDA government.
दो हाथ से ताली बजती है, एक हाथ से नहीं. दो हाथ से ताली बजती है.
So those leaders were wrong. I'll ask the BJP MP whether Sushma Swaraj ji was wrong or Arun Jaitley ji was wrong. Please answer, Mr. Khandelwal.
Praveen Khandelwal.
It is not a...
Madhav, I am to say that my friend will never agree about the most irresponsible behavior of the opposition, the bunch of lies spoken by LOP, and when he was asked to authenticate, he refused. Shivraj Singh, Rajnath Singh ji, and Piyush Goyal ji and various other people asked to authenticate his charges, but he refuted. So is it the right way of the LOP
the Agniveer
to
issue
make
that was
bunch
taken?
of lies on the floor of the house?
The defense minister said that we are giving 1 crore as compensation.
Agree.
But the reality and the fact, it is the insurance company that is giving it. It is the insurance company. Please correct your facts. You are a member of parliament.
I think
not the government of India. It is an insurance company.
There is a lack of...
Shivraj Singh Chants said, we are giving 50%.
One by one.
Absolutely wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Khandelwal, respond to that. They are saying that fact check is also not correct. Is Vivek's contention. Respond to him, please.
See, they are speaking lies on the floor of the house, and their spokespersons are making lies on the channel also.
Wrong, please correct me.
And if it is so, why? Let me say one thing. If Rahul Gandhi was correct, was legitimate, why he refused to authenticate the statement made by him on the floor of the house? If he is so correct. Because he was speaking bunch of lies, therefore he refused to authenticate his own statement.
Okay. All right. Let me just come in now. In fact, the clarifications to the Agniveer have been put out in the past as far as the next of kin are concerned. In fact, the Agniveer in contention, Ajay, has been paid 98.39 lakhs is the information that's coming in. Ex-gratia other benefits are pointing to approximately 67 lakhs as applicable have been put out is the information coming in at this point of time. The total amount is going to be 1.65 crores. This is the information coming out by the Indian Army. I believe they've put this out on social media X today. But let me quickly bring in two other panelists who've been waiting very patiently. The question at the end of the day, Akashdeep Muni, is this. That, it is in the last time, while in the Lok Sabha, I mentioned this earlier, they were demanding answers on Manipur. The PM today spoke on Manipur. In August 2023, when the Prime Minister spoke on Manipur, at that time as well, the opposition was not there. So is this just an attempt to try and corner the government, embarrass the government, rather than actually engaging in a constructive discussion? Akashdeep Muni.
See, Madhav, today the country is facing a number of issues. NEET exam paper leaks. UGC net paper leaks. The innocent person who died because of the roof fell in T1 in airport, New Delhi. There has been Jabalpur airport which is affected. There is Rajkot airport which is affected. And yesterday, we have seen that what happened at Hathras. The government's name is not in FIR. The double engine Sarkar of Bharatiya Janata Party has failed miserably. And interestingly, today Honorable Prime Minister was talking about corruption. Honorable Prime Minister was unable to say why there has been people from other parties, when they joined Bharatiya Janata Party, they got clean sheets. I want to again give some examples. For example, Mukul Roy, who got a CBI clean sheet. Subhendu Adhikari, who got a ED clean sheet. Praful Patel, Vijay Kumar Gavit, Praveen Darkar, and I can name Chhagan Bhujbal, Ajit Pawar, Ashok Chavan, number of people. So why the Bharatiya Janata Party government has failed? And what about the promises of Narendra Modi ji that he did in the last term, that till 2022, India will be a $5 trillion economy. India will be having a bullet train. India will be having no power cuts.
So how will disrupting parliament change that?
Honorable Prime Minister was...
How will disrupting parliament change that, Akashdeep Muni?
No, I'm telling you, because it puts a pressure on the Prime Minister to speak on it.
This is not the way to put pressure by doing something that is out of the convention. That's the whole point. All right, let me bring in TDP spokesperson on this. Let me bring in Deepak Reddy. Deepak Reddy, we are just putting pressure on the government to fulfill its promises. Do you think this is the correct way to do it?
Madhav, if you dive a little deep into it and understand the mindset, The minute the India ecosystem got together after their win, they were commenting that now we have enough numbers to disrupt. So that is pretty much what their mindset is. So we need to understand where this thing is, originating from. Here it is very clear. It is disruption versus democracy. It is the interest of the people versus the political interests of these parties. What I personally feel is there is a deep degree of bitterness in the India ecosystem, especially in the Congress, because they have a hat-trick defeat, and that is stemming from that. So they are trying to instigate BJP and trying to get some attention, and somehow feeling that they are important and they matter. I mean, that's pretty much what I look at. They are holding the constitution in one hand, but disrespecting it by their acts. And if you see, just a few days ago, they took a sacred vow to follow the conventions of the House. Are they really following it? Is a question what they have to answer themselves. And what's amazing today, in the Rajya Sabha, the walkout, what was done, one of the reasons they have claimed is that a certain issue of the Lok Sabha, they wanted to discuss here. It is the convention of the House that you cannot discuss something of the other house in this house or this house in the other house. And everybody knows that. I mean, these are all senior leaders. So they are doing it pretty much intentionally. So if you see all these days, I mean, as you already raised this point, they were talking about Manipur. And when the discussion about Manipur was mentioned, they were not there to listen about it. So here it is pretty clear that they are playing their little dirty politics, and the larger interests of the people are not, they're not bothered with that. And they're spending crores of public money on this on running this house. I mean, are they doing justice? This is a question what they have to ask themselves. And the people of India.
I think you should answer that question, Dr. Muni. This is at the end of the day taxpayer money. We're talking about crores per hour that are spent in terms of running Parliament. And here you have a template, perhaps for the next 5 years. Is this what we're going to see? Every session just washed out?
Madhav, it's not about washing off the sessions, but sheer lies told by Honorable Prime Minister in the House. The Honorable Prime Minister today said in the House that Congress was against Constitution. Khadge ji, who is the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, clarified that how it was the Bharatiya Janata Party ideologue, organizer and other parts who clearly said that how they were against Constitution and they wanted Manusmriti in the Constitution. And he has quoted the organizer at that point in time. I just want to tell you one thing. Why the Prime Minister is still today not speaking on Manipur? Why he has not visited Manipur? While he spoke at length about Bengal, what happened in Bengal. Today we have seen what he spoke. He has not spoken about the 15-second clip where a woman was gang raped and she was taken with a bunch of people in Manipur, where there is Bharatiya Janata Party double engine sarkar.
Okay. Let me quickly take that question across to Sonal Mansingh. Sonal Mansingh, Manipur, there is a perception that even though we've seen how, in fact, even Mohan Bhagwat has referred to Manipur and the violence that has not ceased over there. The Prime Minister, of course, addressed this issue, talking about the Home Minister spending a long period there, etc. But there is a perception that, in Manipur, at least the state government hasn't been able to quite get things together, that the violence continues a year after it broke out. Sonal Mansingh.
What I heard today in the Rajya Sabha, PM telling us that in so many districts the life is normal, it's normalization again. Exams have been conducted in schools, the usual business is going on, and Manipur is slowly limping back to normalcy. It will take a little time, but it's set on the road. So, all the time Manipur shouting, but not willing to listen to the present state of affairs, where it has reached from last year. And I feel very sorry that while talking about Manipur, nobody is mentioning what's going on in Bengal and other places, especially Bengal. We've seen the horrific video. I'm sure you are all aware of that. But coming back to Manipur, he spoke at length. And I think people should go themselves, with the permission, of course, and see for themselves what's normalcy gaining ground there. It's not like what it was.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for the moment. I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us. Praveen Khandelwal, Lok Sabha Member of Parliament of the BJP, Dr. Sonal Mansingh, Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha, Deepak Reddy, National Spokesperson TDP, Lokesh Jindal, Political Analyst, Vivek Sailas, Spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, Akashdeep Puni, Political Analyst as well. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Of course, this session for now is over, but all eyes will be on the monsoon session and how things will really play out as far as the monsoon session of Parliament is concerned.